Beats by Trill, straight Killerville, dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. We back. Another episode of the Paul Picker Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast. Your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. Right now, I got a special guest about to come on. This guy is an absolute beast in the ring. Bareknuckle Fighter out of the BKFC, undefeated, the one and only Edgard, the Dream Killer Plazaola. Edgard, what's good, man?
How's it going, my brother? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh man, I'm so excited. Please tell me I got your last name right.
Yeah, close enough. Plazaola.
Plazaola. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to start with where you from. I lived in Panama for a couple years. Nicaragua. What's life like in Nicaragua?
Well, man, it's lovely, Of course, like that's what I can say about my country. Is that's where I was born. That's where I was raised until I was 17 years old. Um, I never, I grew up, like in a decent family, like I never have any needs, but at the same time, my mom always worked extremely hard, so I kind of, like grew up by myself on the streets, so. But beside that, like it's a beautiful country. It's getting a lot better as it goes, and happy to be able to represent it.
That's what's up. Did you do any kind of combat sports when you lived there?
Never. I wanted to. I remember, that's one of the things that, um, I mean, when I was, like young, it was karate back in the day. It wasn't any, like mixed martial arts or anything, right?
Nah.
But it always called my attention. I was one of those kids, I was short, skinny. All I had is a big head, so a lot of kids, like would like pick on me. And in my country, like you cannot let nobody pick on you because if not, it's the end. So, used to be in a lot of fights. So I always feel like the need, like, man, I want to know what I'm doing, because right now it's just being tough and athletic, I guess. But no, I never had the chance, Once again, I never needed nothing, but at the same time, my mom needed to work hard, to provide for us. So I never even dared to be like, oh, you know what, mom, I want to do martial arts as well. But I grew up doing a lot of sports and fighting on the streets a lot.
Well, nobody's picking on you now. What were you doing before bare knuckle?
Well, doing before bare knuckle, I was doing mixed martial arts.
Okay.
As a professional, I went 4-0. As an amateur, I went 5-0. So my whole career has been on the feet up to this point. With God's grace. So yeah, that was like my bread and butter. Always my entire life, like since I started, I had never stopped training because soon after starting my training, I got in love with the sport so much that I wanted to be an instructor as well. I wanted to be a coach. I wanted to get my black belt. And obviously, now with all the experience that I have, and as a black belt, that's one of my biggest passions. So I was doing, my mixed martial art training, fighting, and also coaching a lot.
Now you're in the featherweight division, right?
Yes, sir.
Now you're probably gonna be moving up them rankings really fast. Like I didn't know much about your opponent, but I seen you fight at the Seminole Hard Rock Cafe before this last one, and you was a beast. And I knew there was no way you was gonna lose this fight either. It seems like they're gonna have to start giving you some tougher cats.
Yes, most definitely, and that's what I'm looking forward, at the end of the day, that's absolutely the plan for me. I want to, like start moving up on rank and, I know it's just once again, that's something that I already expected. I know that every fight is gonna be harder and harder. So we continue preparing and also getting better and better at the same time.
Who's the next ideal opponent, you think?
Anyone that is wrong, to tell you the truth, once again, I think I have proven myself already. My last opponent, it was a tough opponent as well. So I'm ready for anyone in reality. Like I'm really looking forward. My mentality, I always like to say, I'm already the champion, so whoever they put in front of me, it's my duty to defend, my title, my title. And by keeping that mentality, I know that I'm gonna actually get to get that physical belt.
Well, I just recently interviewed Kai Stewart before he fought El Gallo, and I must say, man, like he's in jeopardy, man, with you in this division. He really is. You got El Gallo, you got Howard Davis, you got you, Jimmy Rivera. I mean, that would probably be a good next fight. I mean, I don't know too much about these other guys. Now, watching your fight, it seems like you're deadly when you get people on the ropes. Is that really you try to get people on the ropes a lot? Because once you get them on the ropes, it's like they having a tough time.
Yeah, man. Listen, at this point, like it's not like it's a secret, like what my what I'm where my fight is, what I wanna be. I wanna, like be in the middle range where I can grab you if I want to, but I can also can have enough space to generate power. I believe a lot of my power, and at the same time, it looks I have a very aggressive style, but
Yeah.
like it's a control aggressive that I have. I'm always fully aware exactly where I'm hitting, and what I'm doing. Even when I'm at that close distance, I feel like that's what I'm comfortable the most. I'm rolling, my opponent's punches. I'm ducking, I'm blocking, while I'm making sure that I'm putting the damage the more. So I feel very comfortable right there. Then in the clinch, I'm extremely strong. I feel like I can push, pull anyone in my division, while at the same time, like making a lot of damage. So I don't see any of my opponents on my weight division being able to handle that. And then as well, like when it comes from the outside, I'm extremely explosive and fast, going in with hard shots. So once again, I'm feeling, like the now at this point, I'm, even myself, I'm finding out, like what's my comfortable stuff, and it's my opponent's job trying to figure it out, and it's my job to improve it and change it and mix it up, so that way, like it becomes hard to figure it out.
None of your fights went the distance, right?
No, sir. Or to this point, like we still certified finisher, closing the deal.
Now, are you always trying to end it the quickest possible? Because I know somebody was saying that we interviewed before that BKFC is different in boxing. Like boxing starts out slow and then it gets fast, but BKFC starts out fast and it gets slow. You agree
Yes,
with that?
yes, absolutely. Look, that's definitely my goal. Like my goal is not just win. My goal is always to win with in a fashion way. And for me, the fashion way to win is by finishing my opponents and not leaving it to the judges. My whole mixed martial art career, I've been training and preparing for 5 minutes rounds. So now that I'm doing BKFC, there is 5 2-minute rounds. I consider that there's no reason why to be fighting in a slow pace. Uh, uh, David Feldman, like he even told us in the back and the lockers, like trying to pump us up because I feel that that's like what people want. People want to see action. That's why we told the line, so that way they don't have to be that much dancing around. So that's what I like a lot. To the 2 minutes should demand a fast paced, an explosive fight. But at the same time, like displaying proper skills as well, because you need to be cautious as well, because sometimes you might be the dominant fighter, the better fighter, but all it takes is, one cut or one punch, to get you to change everything completely. So you also have to display, good fighting IQ and proper skills as well. But yeah, in my opinion, yeah, 2-minute round should be going, 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 going.
What would you say is your greatest strength as a bare knuckle fighter?
My natural abilities with the better say, like my talent with my work ethic, man. Like I feel the, I guess, yeah, it sounds, how do you say it? It sounds cliche, but that's exactly
Cliche,
what
yeah.
that's exactly what I think. Like a lot of people has the talent, but they're not willing to put the work. My, and I feel, like I had the natural ability since I started doing this. I always felt that, like God blessed me with this natural skills that I have and talent. Well, at the same time, my culture, like where I'm from, the way that the way that I was raised and brought up, put me a huge work ethic, that is undeniable. I'm always, trying to be the hardest worker and never stop my preparation. I always keep a white belt mentality, trying to improve, trying to, look for perfection when it comes to my skills.
Did you say a white
So
belt
I think
mentality?
yes,
Okay, I
absolutely.
like that. I like that. I never heard that one
To this
before.
point, exactly, I always try to like find a way to learn something from anyone. Like look, how people say, like, oh, you learn a lot more from your losses. That's something, like the Jason
I've heard
Suarez,
that.
a good, friend of mine and coach, put to me that mentality. He retired undefeated, and that's my goal as well. And that's how we keep that undefeated mentality. I'm not waiting to lose to get better, like every single fight I'm trying to like see, okay, what did I have to fix, what I did wrong, and start working right away on that and a lot more other stuff. So this last fight was amazing for me because I went 4 rounds opposite to my previous one that was a lot quicker. So there was
Mhm.
a lot more things that I had to learn, that I got to learn from, and that I had to improve. And now we are back in the training room, back on the mats, putting work already, and fixing all those things.
Yeah, I've seen your videos of working out. I mean, tremendous workouts. And I normally don't ask a lot of the fighters this, but just been curious lately. Like, what's your like diet regimen like?
Well, listen, good that you asked me that because it's not like I don't really keep a diet. I try to like keep my eating, like putting into my body good stuff, but everything that my body needs. I do going to say I do intermittent fasting, and I feel that that makes a lot of difference for me, honestly. I always fasting 16, 18. Sometimes, I do long fasting, 24 hours, 48 hours. And I train while fasting as well. So, that allows me, like to burn a lot of fat instead of retaining. So when it's time for me to eat, I'm honestly, I'm not gonna say that I'm the perfect eater, but like I try to like just make sure that I'm eating my good lean protein. I try to keep a diet high on protein, but I still have my carbs. I'm not afraid of fat or anything. I have my sweets as well. Everything in balance. Everything controlled. But fasting for me makes the difference.
What's your opinion of like fighters that fight like two weight classes? You think
Say
it's
that
a hard
again.
thing to do? Like, what's your opinion of fighters who fight two different weight classes?
I mean, I think like the. I don't see nothing wrong with it. If you feel that you finally dominate your weight class, and you don't see nothing else there, like why not to explore, especially if you're in a good range that you're not gonna be killing yourself to be making the weight and so on.
Yeah, because I noticed some people say they kill themselves trying to make the weight up to the point of the fight, and then by the time you make the weight right before the fight, it's like they done took out so much energy, draining themselves to do that.
Yeah, that's a big issue, Like, look, I would say I wish we all just fight on our walking weight, like
Yeah,
right now where we are. Let's just get in good shape and let's just agree to fight. But this is something that has been happening, like forever. Everybody trying to like be the bigger guy in the weight division. Everybody want to have the advantage. So we all had to do it, because if not, we're gonna be the smallest guy of the division. So, but if it will be up to me, man, listen, let's just get 6 weeks, to prepare, get in the best shape of that we possibly can. Let's weigh in without having to kill our body. I think that we've been be putting a better performance, because there's a lot of fighters that they still don't know what they're doing when it comes to that aspect. So that's why you see it dying and there, and gassing out and not being able to perform, and a lot of them quitting. Like you see, man, it's unfortunate, but you see a lot of quitting on BKFC
I've seen a
because
lot
of
lately. I've seen a lot lately. With
you know what
cats
I'm talking
that
about, like,
they hit that
and,
knee and
and
they're like, nah, man, I'm done.
yes, and I see that what I'm a fighter. I know, like, okay, he got hurt, maybe for to back to the body, but no, it's just lack of preparation, lack of even hard, because a lot of times, yeah, you could be tired, but like if you have heart, you should be pushing. But I think that the wake up is a huge factor as well.
How hard is it to train for some of these fights when some of these guys only got one fight under their belt and you don't really know much about them?
I don't have a problem at all, my brother. I never pay too much attention to my opponent, to tell you the truth. Like, a lot of people might criticize that because they get it from like the from studying fight and the game plan and all of that. But once again, I'm so busy all the time trying to improve me and trying to like focus on what I have to do better, my footwork, my head movement. Oh, I'm dropping this hand. It's so many things that I need to tie up on my game. That how am I gonna be, like worrying about what the other person, about what my opponents
You
are
know, you
doing?
remind me of you like the predator off the movies. Like they're always hunting and finding ways to just get better and better and better and better.
Correct, exactly. Look, I have an amazing team too. I have my coaches. I feel that's how we always been. It's my coach's job to watch the films and to give me the proper drills, the proper training partners, and tell me exactly what I need to do. And my job is to go there and perform. And worry about me, what I'm gonna do to them, not what they're gonna do to me. I gotta be ready for whatever, regardless, right?
Yeah. Now, how big do you think the sport of bare knuckle and BKFC can be?
Oh man, it can be. You can already see how fast it's growing. So if things keep going this way, I'm really really excited, because once again I feel like the we all jumping in on this thing at the right time.
Right
Look at
time. Yeah.
now, Conor McGregor, like jumping on board, the deals that they're getting, with Japan, and now how they're going all around the world. I see amazing things happening, for the sport, and I'm very, very happy to be part of it.
I swear I wish they would have had you at the BKFC Mexico because they needed somebody. I tried to watch it. It was a tough watch for me. I don't know why. I think it was because of short arms or something. I don't know. It was a tough
I
watch
didn't
for
I
me.
didn't watch it. I gotta watch it. Now you got me curious.
Yeah, it was a BKFC Mexico was a tough watch, and they had a lot of Mexican fighters in there. I didn't really know too many, but a lot of people I've seen say it was a tough watch, a very very tough watch.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the Conor McGregor thing. So you think that takes BKFC up to another level, right?
Yeah, most definitely. Like obviously, he's a big name. When it comes to combat sport, like David Feldman said, like when he calls, people answer his phone calls. So it's definitely a good thing. Also, you can see that he's a partner that he is involved. He is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fan. Like he is a fan. He likes the sport. He respects it. He admires us as a warriors. And he appreciate how we like put it in the line to like the next level, like modern gladiators. So I think that it's a good thing as well, because someone to have like someone of his name, his legacy, and at the same time, that he appreciate and value what we're doing.
Do you ever get caught up in trying to get the fight of the night? You get that bonus?
No, I'm always trying to. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like this last one, actually, like the president in the back there's, in the fight meetings, he actually mentioned that he has, some extra cash, like to give beside the regular burners,
Yeah.
um, for whoever fight their butt out, for whoever fight their ass out. And as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, good, because that's what I'm here for, So it's not like I was planning something different. But knowing that there was some extra money, of course, like kind of like motivate you. But reality is, I'm always going in there to put a performance. So yeah, like any bonus that come, excellent. But my biggest fear is to get in a fight that is a boring fight, like the people are not entertained, So I always go in there, and that's why, like I always trying to find those opponents that are right for it, where we can put a show. Basically, I always tell my opponent, let's put a show, if I had a chance, obviously, to cross work with them. So yeah, I always want to get that performance. I always want to get that finish of the night, most definitely.
That's what's up. What advice would you give to somebody just for the first timer trying to get into bare knuckle fighting?
I'm sorry, repeat that.
What
Repeat the
advice
question.
would you give a first timer trying to get into bare knuckle fighting?
What advice will I give? Um, Believe in God first of all. Like,
Okay.
and that's very important. Like you need to have something superior to believe, and just make sure like that you're ready to put some work. Like it's different. Like you need to know that you are cut up for it. That's why not every boxer is doing this. That's why not every MMA fighter is doing this. Like it's different getting hit, like bare knuckle, getting in a fist fight where every single punch hurts. With gloves, like sometimes, yeah, you even can get rocked or knocked down, knocked out, but in reality that doesn't hurt. Bare knuckle hurts. Punching hurts. And getting punched hurt. So make sure that you know what you're getting into it. Like you need to have it on you. You need to have the duck on you.
So you're a family man, right? You got a family, right? How's your family like feel about you bare knuckle fighting?
Oh man, my family is extremely supportive.
That's what's up.
They know basically that this is my purpose in life. This is like what God has in plan for me. My wife has like she met me since I was an amateur. And she always when I was an amateur MMA fighter, when she met me, like I told her straight up, what was the plan is. At that point the plan was, listen, I'm gonna be the next UFC featherweight champion, so you better be ready for it, because right now, basically, I say right now we're gonna eat the win, but whoever eat the wins with me, then later on we're gonna eat the breast. You know, uh, it sounds better in Spanish when I say, but I'm trying to say, like we're gonna go through hard ones, but then like I want you to know that I'm gonna make it. Life happens, obviously, and MMA, I guess wasn't, like the plan. But now with BKFC, it's exactly the same thing, and she already knows my mentality. And now that I'm doing this, she knows I'm full in. My kids, like they believe extremely hard on me, like they think I'm invincible, I guess, for
Yeah,
them,
daddy's a
I'm
badass.
yeah, and their hero. But that being said, like my oldest daughter always super concerned, like when I come, after the fight with cuts and stuff, because
That was gonna be my
that
next
she's not used to it.
question. Do they ever get worried that something might happen to you?
What's that?
That was gonna be my next question. Do they ever get worried that something might happen to you in the ring?
No, not really. They don't get. I don't think they get worried about something me happen to me. My daughter, like I say, what she does, she gets upset when I get, like cuts, or when I get a black eye, even for training. When I come home, she's like, "Daddy, why you let them do that to you?" I'm like, "Sorry, mama." Like sometimes it happens. But
Yeah,
no, they always.
this
I
sport is
always
is a lot different than every other sport.
It is, most definitely. But I always try to transfer to my family the same confidence and belief that I have in God, my Lord Jesus Savior as well, and in my abilities as well, So the same way that I feel when I go into getting in a fight, I'm always prepared for the, I'm always prepare for the worst, but I'm always expecting the best. I call it, So it's the same mentality that they have. They always believe they everything's gonna be okay, but they know the business that I am too.
Now, do you got? I mean, you got any fights that stands out for you of being your most memorable fight,
Um, in BKFC.
or just in general?
Well, you know what? I will have to say my MMA fights, were very clean, very solid, total domination for me. I'm a complete fighter, so I had knockouts, I have submissions, and I never ever felt yet that I had to like. I had to push hard, but I never felt like really really in danger. But if I had to say, it would be my first BKFC fight, most
Okay.
definitely. First of all, it was different. Like I said, like adjusting because the training it was good. We trained. I was even hitting. Like and drilling a little bare knuckle to get used to it. Like seeing, fists coming at me instead of gloves. But
Yeah.
then when you were in the fight, one, I didn't feel like too comfortable because my first opponent was a southpaw, and we were not preparing for a southpaw until like 3 weeks. Like no 4 weeks, I would say. Before the fight, right? And that like throw me off, and two, like he was a lot better than what we anticipated as well. And three, the punches, the bare knuckle punches, like feeling them, once again I never felt hurt, like like I stung or anything, but I did will feel like, okay, these punches hurt as well. And uh I felt on that fight, I did overcame all of that, I show a lot of me. I show that I can still finish the fight at any point. And most important, I got a beautiful, like triple cross finish, that I finished exactly how I wanted to finish my opponent.
Did you get nervous at all before that fight?
No, 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 I didn't get nervous, like for some reason, for a split second, I got worried how calm I was because after before my first BKC fight, I wasn't active. I wasn't actually like inactive for like almost 6 years,
Okay.
and I thought that I was gonna be a little more nervous. But it kind of surprised me that I wasn't as much. But then I realized, like, listen, this is not the first fight that I'm getting into it, and like I always say, like this is just another fight. Like after once you have, couple fights on your belt, that's what it is, Like every fight is different, but I already been in a fight basically. So that kind of like always calm me down.
How did you end up getting into BKFC? Like, they came to Florida or something for an event, or
Actually, it was thanks to my friend and manager Aldo, from El Toro Loco MMA. He's the owner, CEO of the El Toro Loco Churrasqueria, and my friend and training partner, Jason Suarez. So, if you want me to tell you how it went down, I was literally teaching a class, and I remember that I was wearing a boot because I sprained my ankle. So I
okay.
was, like wearing a boot. I was injured, and they both, like showed up to the gym, and nothing. They knew that I wasn't fighting, MMA because in reality, MMA wasn't making sense for me at that point, like and that's why I stopped, like fighting MMA because life kept rolling. I got married, I had kids. I'm the sole provider for my family, and like fighting locally MMA wasn't making sense. It was like I was paying to fight. So
Mhm.
I decided to stop that to focus more, on providing for my family and growing other businesses. But then they always knew that I always wanted to fight again. I never say that I was done. I always had the fire on me, and especially Jason Suarez, he knows me since day one. He knew that I had the skills. So they show up to the gym, and they brought out the idea to me. They told me, hey, listen, there's a opportunity to do, a bare knuckle fight for BKFC, and it made sense. And as soon as like they told me, I was like, I'm in. Definitely, like I didn't hesitate. I didn't thought about it.
So you
I
didn't
already
even think it
said
was crazy at all.
no, no, no.
Because Chris
It
Lytle said he heard when he got into it, he heard about a UFC guy doing bare knuckle, and he's like, "That's the craziest shit I ever heard." Excuse my language. And he's like, "It's the craziest thing I ever heard." And then he saw it, and he was like, "Oh, sign me up."
yeah. No, no,
He was
no.
like,
With
"Sign me
me,
up."
I s- so check it out. Before they before they brought that idea to me, I saw BKFC before because I
Okay.
noticed, like how they were growing, and as soon as I saw it for the first time that I saw, it, I was like, you know what, that wouldn't be something. That would be something that I will do, but when I'm older, like let's say, like when when my knees are not working as good, that's something that I
Yeah.
would love to do because there's no grappling involved, there's no kicking, it's just clinching and punching. So since they want a new man, that I'm good for that. But I always thought that I was gonna do it later on in my career. I always thought that I was gonna come back to MMA. And then when they come up to me and they told me, "Oh, listen, we had this good opportunity for you if you wanna take it," I was like, "Sign me in." Like this is said, and definitely, like didn't hesitate at all.
Well, it's definitely working out for you very well so far, man.
And
I
no,
want to go
and right
ahead.
after that, they invite me to actually go and see live over here, BKFC 5.
Uh huh.
And that's when I kind of was the reassurance. And from that moment, I was like, I forgot completely about MMA, forget about it, forget about UFC. This is me. This is where I'm going all in. The second that I went in to watch the fights live, and I hear the clap, clap, clap sound of when I heard the sound of the knuckles on every punch, I was like, this is what I really want to do. And that's where the journey started.
Yeah, I always say it's the modern day American Gladiator. Like
It's
as close
realistic,
as you're gonna
man.
get to American Gladiator, you know. I want to take up too
It's
much time because I know you got a busy day. But before we go, is there anything you want to shout out?
Absolutely, man. Thank you for giving me the chance because I wouldn't be able to do this, first of all, like God, man, all glory. I gotta give it to God. My family, they are my fuel, my number one fans and supporter, my wife, my kids, and my team. Man, I always say I had the best team. First of all, Freestyle Fighting Academy, Marcos Avila and Jason Suarez, like they are my day one, always believing me since day one. El Toro Loco, Churrasqueria, Aldo Espinosa, El Toro Loco MMA. My sponsors, they're always taking care of me, giving me amazing massage, Chris from Elite Precision Massage. Big shout outs to him as well, And Jorge Rubio, my boxing coach as well, and all the guys from Rubio Boxing, they've been helping me with my striking as well. Thank you so much to all of you guys.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on here, man. You're an extremely nice guy, man, and a badass at the same time. That's the
Thank you,
thing
sir.
about y'all bare knuckle fighters. I'm really still confused about y'all. It's not like y'all bullies or anything. Y'all like nice guys that like to fight or love to fight. Actually, love to fight, but y'all all nice guys. It's crazy.
Yeah, we know how to turn it
And
on, brother.
gals, because we just interviewed Melanie Shaw recently. So you know. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. You're now a friend of the show, man. Anytime you want to come on and talk about anything, please do. I'm gonna be following you throughout the rest of my remainder of life on Earth. Following your career. I'm gonna show support and love to anything you post. I can't wait for your next fight, and I'm scared for your opponent.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for having me, man. And I appreciate the support.
Appreciate it, Edgard, man. You have a wonderful day, man.
You too.
All right, peace. Well, it's another one, man, in the books. Bare knuckle fighting world, BKFC. That's Edgard, the Dream Killer, Plazaola, and he's an absolute monster in the ring. He's a beast. Don't let the nice guy fool you, man. Don't let the nice guy fool you. He's an absolute beast in the ring. He gets you on the ropes. He gonna work that body, and you're gonna have a rough day after that. And as you see, he truly loves BKFC. Sky's the limit for BKFC. and bare knuckle fighting in general. Boxing is not looking too good over there. UFC, I mean, I feel like they've kind of hit their peak. They could still get somewhat bigger, but I feel like they hit their peak. Bare knuckles came up in a very short period of time, very fast. I mean, they're selling out more than a lot of WNBA games, which is 27 years in and still ain't making a profit. But once again, I want to thank y'all tuning in to another episode of the Paul Pickett Podcast, where we take you to the world of bare knuckle fighters and more. And I need to get back into the comedians here soon too and whatnot. But thank you for tuning in to another episode, and check out Edgard, the Dream Killer, Plazaola. Absolute beast in the ring, man. Thank you for tuning in. Peace, and I'm out.